Hello, everybody out there in listening world. Wesley Bray here with Core Scope Insights, where we're always at the core of industry, expanding the scope. We're so glad you could join us tonight, and I'm excited. I've got two very good friends in here tonight, but I've also got two business owners in here that can help anybody out there in the business world, no matter whether you run a small business or a large scale business, corporation, LLC, and it doesn't matter. These guys are in the studio tonight to talk about what they do and how they can provide service to not only you, but your business and help it run more efficiently while you can sleep safely at night knowing that your security is in check. So, hey, Daryl, I'm going to turn it over to you first. Welcome to the studio. Thank you for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. So, we've got Daryl Frisk here and we've got Garrett Berry. So the two of them, hey, I told them when they pulled up, they look like Batman and Robin. But of course, Daryl says, "Hey, as long as I can be Batman," and I says, "Well, that makes Garrett one big Robin over there." But hey, it's all right. It's So Daryl, tell us a little bit about top tier, top tier solutions. Simply top tier solutions.
So I run the IT side of the business. Top tier techs is what we call it, and we brought together several businesses here with Simplice to make simply top tier solutions. I'm in charge of our IT side, cybersecurity, automation, AI, everything that is related in that tech world, including voice over IP, um, phone systems, and really everything from a top to bottom solution for your technology in your office, keeping it safe, secure, and always working and productive for you. That's what we do.
That is awesome. So, what made you? I know because of your expertise, and folks, I have witnessed it firsthand, and talked to many that do business with the two of these guys, and they're just ecstatic with their service. So, I'm learning more about it. So, Garrett, you want to talk a little bit about what made you guys decide to get into a business that covers such a large portion of IT, but you guys have really encapsulated everything to where you guys are focusing on businesses and just providing top tier service to them, as well as the name implies.
Yeah, so I got into the business 8 years ago, and it was simply you got a terminal on a counter. People were, restaurants were starting to get into having, points of sale. And, a lot of restaurants are still doing it the old fashioned way where, you write a ticket out, take it to the kitchen, put it on the wall. And, even the retail shops, a lot of them were just, they had a register, they had a terminal, and as technology has advanced quickly, so is payment processing to where
Sure.
it's no longer just you find more often than not, point of sale solutions where you're having to integrate one process into another process. And as you're trying to get into deeper verticals, you realize like, okay, I can become knowledgeable in this, but technically proficient is something entirely different.
Certainly.
And so I found myself calling Daryl more and more on like, hey man, how do I need to make this work? Like, it's one thing to watch a YouTube video and you got an idea like, oh, here's how a car works, but it's another when you try to take something off your car and replace a part. And that's what you're dealing with now with, payment processing. It's no longer just a terminal. Like you're having to integrate into their QuickBooks. You're
Yeah.
having to integrate into, everything that makes operating their business more efficient.
So
And
if
Daryl
somebody
makes that possible.
so if somebody had 30 seconds and they wanted the rundown on it, and let's make it shorter than and a 15-second rundown of what you guys are doing, and encumber everything together for us, Daryl, if you will, when all you
So
listen.
as far as all the services that have been brought together, credit card processing is a core part of it. In the technology side, I've been the integrator for them for quite some time, so it just made sense for us to finally come together. So we already covered the technology, but that also includes things like payroll,
Sure.
um, and pretty much pretty darn close to everything you need to run your business, so you can take some of those caps off your head and focus on building a business instead of have a business run you. And that's where we come in and we fit that so that you can not think about your technology, know it's secure, know it's going to be up and running, not think about how your credit card processing works or that you're going to get beat over the head on percentage points because
Right.
that's really where that world exists. And on the payroll side, well, if you've ever had to deal with payroll, everybody out there knows that's a headache. So what if it can be somebody else's headache and it just gets done right every single time? And all you have
Right.
to do is submit the report.
Now, when someone reaches out to you, or if you're talking to someone who may need your views, or your what you guys offer, where do you normally start? I kind of rearranged the question from what I had written, but I think that's a better way. Where do you guys start with how do you guys can provide your needs and start to uncover what a customer's looking for?
I really think that's starting with the pain points. Like, where is your pain right now, and
Hmm.
how can it be solved? I mean, we walk into businesses where it's, my IT team never calls back, never responds, things like that. So we'll start with that and let them know that we offer everything else. It really is building trust is what it
Sure.
really comes down to. And we always are keeping our clients first in every way. So, you can trust us to do all the aspects of the business, and you have, as a famous term that I love to say, one throat to choke. You're
Right.
mad at somebody,
Right.
you
Yeah.
probably you only got to call one
I
person
like that.
who's on your team.
One
You know,
throat to choke.
and so I think it's a valuable part of all that.
And what, uh, so you mentioned restaurants. Is there any industry that you guys focus on or work with, or you guys can help anybody really out there in business?
Yeah,
So
we can help anybody. And like the when you're like, well, how do you start? The best way to do it is to have a good conversation with somebody and like ask them questions they probably haven't had asked in a while or probably don't think about it in a while.
right,
Like when you go to the doctor, it's best that you bring your wife with you because like you've been living with stuff and you don't even talk about it. But like
sure.
when the doctor asks you, well, what's wrong? You're like, I'm okay. Your wife will go, he's not okay.
That's what my wife says all the time.
Well, what are you
He's not
talking about?
okay. He's crazy.
Yeah, and your partner will bring up your pain points, and then you're like, "Yeah, it's painful. Like, if we can fix it, let's fix it." So it's like when you're talking to a business owner, it's like, "Well, hey, man, let's talk about like, what is your business? How do you
Right,
run your business? If you could do it more like, if if things could be in a better world, and you could take loads off, what would they be? Like, what are your headaches? What
sure,
keeps you up at night?"
sure.
And that's where like Daryl comes in, I come in, because like we can look at a big picture and then as you're painting that picture you can figure out, okay, well, here's some dark spots, so how
Right,
do we get this fixed? And earlier we'd asked, like, what about payroll? I can sell payroll, I can talk about payroll, but Daryl's had employees for years now. He experiences payroll hiccups, he knows how painful they are.
right,
Daryl is a great person to talk to about pain points with payroll. It's like trying to sell life insurance to somebody who's never had a death in the family.
sure.
If you've had a small business and a death in the family, you know how important life insurance is.
Absolutely. And
That's why Daryl's key with payroll.
that kind of leads me to the next question. So, either one of you, I'll throw us out there, whichever one wants to answer it. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that businesses have about outsourcing technology and operational support?
I think that plays into my world a little bit more. So I think the biggest thing is that they feel like they're going to lose control, and that
Hmm.
generally means you just haven't chose the right partner. Go talk to any of our clients, and they'll tell you they get to at least talk to us weekly, if not once a month, if it's very minimal sometimes. But we're making plans. We're always looking at things, and we try to make sure we're in the office and listening always to what pain points there are and what we can fix, whether it's using technology, using a VoIP system, phone system, the credit card processing side of things. There's a lot of little things that go into that, and then the overarching over all that comes security,
Sure.
because there's always somebody trying to get into your stuff and use it for ill will.
I got one more question before we go to break, folks. So I'm gonna ask you, what are business owners overpaying for that they are unaware of it? And I would assume a lot of them are and I'll let you, I don't want to lead you to anywhere, but I know, I feel like a lot of them are getting percentages, charges more so than they think. And
I
is
think it's
that
credit
hitting the
card
nail?
processing, so I'm throwing that
Pro-
one to Garrett.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot. It's Business owners aren't any different than anybody else. So, you get a streaming service and then you get another service and then you get another service. And originally you got this streaming service because you were going to save money. And before you know it, you're paying $120, $200 a month on stuff you're not watching. And
no,
that's where you end up losing money. Everything is not coordinated. You've bought individual options to try to solve a solution when you could tie it together, have everything working together, and operate effectively and efficiently.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to take us to break, folks. We're going to recognize our sponsors out there that make the show possible. We couldn't do it without you, and we certainly thank you. And we want to thank our listeners as well, and those who view the show. Hey, if you're not subscribed, log in to YouTube, go to CoreScope Insights, hit that subscribe button. You might just have an opportunity to win some great prizes. We do it every week, but we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back and learn more about what these guys are doing and how they can help you in your business. Y'all stay tuned. Can we all agree that when your equipment stops, your business stops? That's why professionals trust Bearing Supply in West Columbia. They provide high-quality bearings, power transmission parts, industrial supplies, and expert support to keep operations running smoothly. When you're in manufacturing, automotive, construction, or maintenance, their knowledgeable team helps you find exactly what you need fast. With dependable products and customer-focused service, Bearing Supply keeps the Midlands moving. Call them today at 803-791-0371. That's 803-791-0371. When the weather changes in the Carolinas, your comfort shouldn't. That's why homeowners all across Andrews, South Carolina rely on Bruce Brown Heating and Air. From quick, dependable repairs to installing modern, energy-efficient systems, Bruce Brown keeps your home feeling just right, no matter the season. Their certified technicians show up on time, diagnose issues accurately, and deliver honest, reliable service you can count on. No pressure, no surprises, just a local team committed to keeping your family comfortable all year round. Need a repair? Ready for an upgrade? Trust the pros who put customers first. For your comfort needs, call 843-264-5483. All right, folks, welcome back. So we're going to go right back to Garrett here, and I want to give him an opportunity to talk about something that you guys are certainly helping people with across the board. And a lot of people are unaware that things kind of get out of their reach or underneath their vision. And so talk about a little bit about captive payments, Garrett, if you will, and how a lot of folks, have a misconception of that.
Sure. So when people are working with a point of sale or, patient management software, dental practices, anywhere from dental practices to service businesses, if you enter into a point of sale agreement and it's captive architecture where you have to use their payment processor, initially what you see is, they'll stick to whatever price they told you, and then every year you get a raise, you get a raise, you get a raise. And after they've been working, with these companies, for several years, you're looking at a significant increase that they put on you. You can't go shop around because you're stuck with this, uh, you know, POS that you're working with or patient management software you're working with. And, we've personally seen, cases of one of our friends, his, with his company, he was paying 6.1% to process credit card payments.
Wow.
And
And didn't have a clue. He
didn't
just
have a
creeped it
clue.
up. Yeah.
Like he knew it was high, but he didn't realize how high. And then, in the medical field, with your patient management software, you've got your patient's information. It's even stickier because you're like, well, man, I can't switch. If I switch, it's going to be just outrageous. I'm going to have to pay my employees overtime to make this change. And like, that's where Daryl and I, really started working together.
Right.
Is he's able to, we're able to go behind the scenes in the back office and, move the API keys around that, can talk to each other. And we're able to go into these captive systems and we're able to integrate so that you're not having to rewrite your book. You're able to operate effectively and you're paying market prices to operate your business.
That's awesome. That's kind of what I was looking at. I was kind of looking to hope to get educated, and I did. So let me ask you this, Daryl. I'll throw this to you. What does managed IT look like for a small to say a medium-sized business? What does it really mean for managing IT, and what are you guys doing?
What it means to the client side is that you have a planned expense. You know exactly how much you're spending every single month. You simply pay for that fee, and then everything else is covered under that. The
Sure.
lucky thing about it is that it doesn't really matter how small you are, how large you are. Those systems work by how many PCs are you managing, or how many users are you managing. So, the numbers just change by that value right there. Just
Yeah.
like a old phone system where if you needed 6 phone lines, you were paying more than if you needed 2. It's the same idea. As far as what we cover, we do everything from help desk, the smallest little whatever you need to learn, get taught on, or issue you're having, all the way up to the tallest part of it, which is cybersecurity. And that's the part that most owners of companies just don't think about, and they just get to contract that out and hope that, everything goes well. So that's where choosing the right vendor really matters.
Sure. And how do
You
you
need to care.
touch on this a little bit if you can? How do businesses stay productive while managing their downtime and, in the business cycle a little bit?
Well, we're seeing definitely a reinvention of things thanks to artificial intelligence. So, today I had a user say, I don't know the last time I wrote an email myself, and that AI does it for them, 90% of the time. So that's definitely a big part of it. But the other side of that is to look at ways that things can be automated. I'm a huge supporter of, if you have a daily task that takes you 5 minutes, let me automate that task. And I've given you back 5 minutes a day, and I've given you over 1,500 minutes a year back to your business, so that that person become more productive in other areas,
Wow, that's
especially
huge.
repetitive tasks.
That's huge.
But really, almost anything can be automated. It just depends where it fits, or if it needs a human touch, or if it variables change on the way. But that's where artificial intelligence comes in now, and it makes those automations even neater, because now it can make those decisions somewhat like a human. I am not going to say AI is ready to replace us yet.
Yeah. And what do you see companies do repeatedly, the mistakes that they keep repeatedly taking out there?
Well, certainly, user training is a huge part of what we do, but in the IT world, those mistakes are certainly generally related to attempts of attacks, which is generally sent through email, trying to get you tricked into giving your username and password, or trying to, even worse, get something on into that network that allows them to kind of get sneaky and start looking at your data, which, your data is yours, and you don't
Sure.
want that data out into the world.
Well, I know I'm gonna speak for this. I have worked for companies, and I'm not gonna badger anybody, but I have worked for, I should say, not companies, but one company in the past, or any company you deal with where you don't get paid on time is a headache. So I think that's Garrett. You can probably speak to this. How does good payroll management affect employee satisfaction and plus employee retention?
It's priceless. You can have the best people in the world, but at the end of the day, they have a family to support, they have bills to pay, they have dreams and aspirations that they're trying to fulfill.
Right.
So if they're giving their all for you as a business owner during the day, and you don't pay them, you can't expect them to continue to show up on a daily basis.
Right.
And as a business owner, my wife has owned her company for 26 years. I've watched her settle payroll. Like it's a headache, even with great systems. It's not easy. So, even as an employer, like you have work to do. If we can provide you a better option, which makes this easier for you to do, that's one less thing that you're not, dreading at the end of the week. And Daryl can, he can speak more to, why it's painful because, he's had employees for years. Like
Sure.
I've got myself.
Right.
I know how I feel if I don't get paid, and it's not a problem because I get paid. I'm the owner.
Right.
But Daryl has employees to pay. So he has, hours to enter, jobs to keep up with. So I mean, he can attest more to, why it's more important.
Right.
And that the pain point of it's a real pain point.
Sure. It always has been for me as well, especially if you're in my other business, what I'll do is, all my reps, they're independent reps. So when a check comes in the core scope, say, for what we sell, I have to sit down and go through and do the percentages of what I have to pay people for their commissions. So it can be, it can be stressful.
That's
So
a great example of an automation right there, where
yeah.
the math just gets done for you, it spits out the other end. But
So
on the payroll side of things, I do have a comment to say on that. You know, the first thing is the Wednesday by whatever your payroll company, whatever you have to get it done by, depending on the situation, Wednesday by 3 was
Right.
mine, right? You
Right.
got to get it all in by 3. Let's just start at that stress, right? So now the day started. For us, it's, something blew up, your day's already off the rails, but you still got to get that done,
Right.
or you're not paying your employees. They're not going to get the direct deposit into their account. And number one rule I was always taught in business is the quickest way to reduce employee morale is to miss a paycheck.
Sure.
Miss one payment, and they will never trust you again, or you'll at least be working at it again. So the ability to, produce a report, like I work in my industry, those reports are attached to billable hours, things like that,
Right.
but if you're the phone answerer, then you're getting paid hourly. But the ability for me to take that report and just send it off to the payroll company, they take care of it. I went from, oh my God, to, oh, that's already done.
Piece of cake.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I get the report emailed to myself because I do still believe in human eyes. I review it, I make sure everything looks right, catch some things here and there, revise it, send it off, and here I am done instead of trying to enter things into a system and running away with it where I'm just wildly stressed.
Yeah.
And so just taking that off my plate has allowed me to focus on my business for one, finding more clients, can make sure everybody feels taken care of, is always talking great things about us as our team. But the other side of that is just the stress.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's one wrinkle missing right here because the ability to offload that,
Yeah.
that would have been there.
Absolutely. So cybersecurity now. Let's move into that because I know you guys are seeing it every day and you're defending business owners from it every day. And I think your success rate speaks for itself. So the question is though, cybersecurity feels more overwhelming. Where should businesses start? Not what should they do, but where should they start?
I If you're a small and medium-sized business where you're contracting out your those services of cybersecurity, it starts with finding just a great partner.
Hmm.
There's just no way that you can educate yourself on what's going on out there and stay on top of it. The one thing about technology is it changes every day. I will never know everything. I will wake up tomorrow and be slightly behind and have to catch up. So with cybersecurity, having a great partner is what it's about. And we use the three layers approach where you're checking for bad stuff at where the internet comes in. You're checking for bad stuff and doing everything to try to help your users on the email side of things, catch
Hmm.
things before that comes in. And then let's just say it gets in there, antivirus programs or the more advanced version, quarantining programs are very important to that. So that's the three-layered approach, but that only gives you about 90% coverage. That last 10%, or the last mile, as we call it, is education. And that's what makes our company very different is we educate you just as much as we're trying to implement this, check all the logs, do all that. We
Sure.
we want to talk to you. We want to have a conversation. We want to show you where to look, what to do, because nothing can be 100%. And
Right.
that last mile is always the user's eyes themselves being smart about it. Heck, I almost cried on a Teams meeting today as one of my users spit out exactly what I say. Like, here's how you check an email, da 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 da. Da. And I was like,
Wow.
I think I'm gonna, hold on, give me, so it's those moments that I think you live for at the same time. And so that three-layered approach and then user training is what makes the difference. And as you know, in the world of IT, it can be IT people can be somewhat snooty. And so we make sure to drive home that, it's your best friend sitting with you type of feel at all times.
Gotcha. That's great. Folks, I'm learning something tonight, and, I would all do to, try to always get edumacated as much as I can, so but hey, we're gonna be right back. I hope you guys are, finding the content interesting tonight. I know that I am, and, guys, we're gonna come back, and we're gonna Daryl and Garrett, I'm gonna let you guys let everybody know how they can find you, and I know that, people can put their trust in their business in your hands and feel safe and secure with it. So, right now, to our sponsors, thank you. We'll be right back. And are you looking to rock and roll or find your rhythm? Musician Supply has everything you need to make music come alive. From guitars, drums, percussion, and wind instruments, they carry instruments that get you playing today. Need to get your gear tuned, repaired, or customized? Their expert luthier service has you covered. Want to sharpen your skills or start a new hobby? Music lessons available for every age and level are available at Musician Supply. And the best part, they have wall-to-wall stock, ready for you to take home and start making music. With 2 locations to serve you in the Columbia, South Carolina area, look no further than Musician Supply or check them out on their website at www.musiciansupply.com. When it comes to finding your dream home in South Carolina, experience matters, and Adam Biedenbow brings over 20 years of proven real estate success to every client he serves. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or relocating, even downsizing, Adam knows the state of South Carolina and his community, its neighborhoods, its schools, and its hidden gems, because he's been helping families build their futures here for over 2 decades. With a commitment to honesty, hard work, and personal service, Adam Biedenbow is the name that you can trust when it comes to your real estate needs. Call Adam at 803-206-7025 and let Adam go to work for you. Thank you for watching again. All right, folks. Hey, we're we're getting right back at it here. So I got a question for you, my friend Garrett. What excites you most about the future of Simply Top Tier Solutions?
Whew, man, I think we're in a great spot. We're able to offer a service that traditionally payment processing doesn't handle. You know, my 8 years of experience has been like, hey, let's get in and see how we can help you process payments, do your point of sale. And, as we've grown, it's like, well, how do we help you operate your business more efficiently, more effectively? And, having a guy, like having a
Right.
Daryl, like, having the brains, the engineer behind it where it's like, hey, here's how you make this happen. Like, n- not many people can offer that. And it's
Right.
like you're going to have solutions. You're going to have a problem on a daily basis now with technology that you didn't have, last week. You didn't have, last quarter, last year.
Sure.
We're able to answer that because it's like when you have a problem, you got to know why you have the problem. It's no longer just like, fix it. Like if you fix
Right.
it when as soon as your terminals update, as soon as your hardware updates, we got the same problem
Right.
because you didn't fix it,
Right.
and we're able to fix it, and we're also able to keep you safe. And I the phishing is a big deal. Anybody that has an email account realizes like you don't have a cousin in Nigeria that needs money.
Right. So let me ask, if somebody out there listening right now, if you're out there in the listening world and you think you could benefit from the services these guys provide, and trust me, I know you can. So what would the first conversation with you guys look like, Daryl?
Again, it really depends on the pain points, but we would certainly talk to you about all the different aspects of the business, and you tell us what's working and what's not, and where we can get started on making the life easier and taking those hats off your head so that you can run your business and not have your business run you.
Well, knowing you, I got, I had a final question here, but knowing you guys, I think I'm gonna exclude the final question because it says here, what does simply top tier mean to each of you? And I know both of you very well, and you both have a passion for just getting things done right and providing top tier service for your customers. But I will let you expand on it. I tricked you. I hope I took you. I
Uh,
hope I make you think now by answering a little bit for you. So, Garrett, I'm gonna start with you this time.
Yeah, so I used to cook, and
Oh, and by the way, folks, he makes a mean pizza. He's got these pizza ovens at his house. I mean, goodness gracious. Okay, I'm getting off subject. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I I used to cook, and one of my favorite chefs is a guy named Frank Lee, and he stopped me one day. I was making a fruit platter, for some businessmen coming in, and the cuts were great. Everything was perfect, and he looked at it and he kind of shook his head. And he goes, "Arch, is there anything that you're doing there that would make somebody feel special?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "I'm looking at it and everything's perfect, and you got them in the right place, but would it make you feel special if you came into the restaurant today and you have a meeting and you're going to talk about business and that's sitting in front of you?" And it hits and it hurts, and you're like, "Well, not really." And so I had some pineapple there that we were cutting fresh pineapple, and he ends up, turning the pineapples into trees, and just simple things that didn't take, but 30 seconds more to do it. But all of a
Right.
sudden, like after the chef handles it and he makes it, and you're just looking at that little care, that little bit of extra special, you realize like, wow, now I would want to come into this meeting, talk about business, because you wake up in the morning, you're groggy, you're like, man, I'd rather be with my kids right now. But the people that came into that meeting that morning expecting, some pastry and a coffee, when they got to see that fruit plate and they got to see the charcuterie, they felt special.
Sure.
And so that's what I want to do with our business. I want you to feel special about working with us.
Yep.
I want you to be able to create a special environment for your customers so they feel good about doing business with you. And I tell people, if you've got a problem, I got a problem. This is like,
That's right.
you have your business,
Your
and that's
problem
how you
becomes
feed
my
your
problem.
family. That you growing is how we feed our family. So
Exactly.
we just want to make you feel special. And if we give you the top, it's in the business name and it may sound hokey, but if we give you the top tier solutions, and it's simple, if we put your interest first every time, you're going to have the best service, you're going to have the best experience, and you're going to grow your business.
Absolutely. Good answer. Daryl, do you want to add on that, or did he cap it? Did he cap it for you?
Man, I think you nailed it.
He nailed
We
it.
want to make technology simple, and we want to make everything simple. So yeah, there's just yeah, that was perfect.
Well, folks,
We came in that.
guys, we have a tradition, and I know you guys look forward to this. So we have a tradition on the show every Thursday when the show airs. We do a giveaway. If you're not familiar. So we have a prize wheel. And so tonight as guest, I'm gonna introduce it. We're gonna go to break, and we'll let Garrett spin the prize wheel, and then we'll let Daryl reach in there and find out who our winner is tonight. And then we will I don't know if they'll be able to get a screenshot of all three of us together, but that's not important. But we'll let these guys wave y'all good night tonight when we're done with that. But before we do that, Daryl, why don't you tell people where they can find the two of you at and how they can reach you?
So one of the definitely the company was recently created and combined, so we're juggling out some of that stuff. As far as I go, you can find me at toptiertext.com, just keeping it short, exactly how it sounds. And Garrett came from Semplice, which is simply in Italian, as I finally learned. And so he is Semplice LLC for the credit card processing side. Those sides are now have the greater company of Simply Top Tier Solutions together. So that's probably the easiest way to find us.
Awesome.
Did I miss anything that normally gets thrown out there?
I didn't know if you wanted to give your phone number or anything, Garrett, for payment processing. If you want somebody to call you that could use your services for payment processing, or
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Simplice credit card processing at 803-984-1425. I tried to give that McSteamy look right into the camera. I don't think it worked.
oh well, hey, I'll tell you what, we can only go so far, and editing can only do so much, Garrett. All right, so folks, we're gonna spin the wheel. Y'all stay tuned. All right, folks. So, hey, during the intermission, they've gotten the instructions. Daryl, I'm going to let you take it away, and you get to play Bob Barker, and he's your contestant. So, you give him the rules.
All right. So you got to spin this wheel, and it's got to go one full time around. You can't try to hit that dollar. Exactly. Got to give it the full throw. So we're starting on. All right. I see where we're starting. Let's see if he's got it.
All righty. Oh, yeah, plenty enough.
Got it.
Plenty enough. What does it land on tonight?
$50 Walmart.
A $50 Walmart gift card. All right, let's see who's going to be able to go to Walmart and buy a new swimsuit for the summertime. All righty, we'll let you slide that over there. Now, hey, Garrett, now you get to play the host of the game show, and Daryl, you got to give him the instructions.
All right.
And now, and I'll help you with that. He can only draw one name out at a time. So make sure you have to referee over there.
All right. So, and is he doing two draws or one draw?
One draw.
All right. So
one name.
you got to spin it all around, and then we'll open it up, and you can pick one contestant.
All right. Let's see.
Drum roll over here.
All right.
All righty. Who's going to
I
be
can't go
tonight?
middle of the deck on this. Sorry for pronouncing the names. Jeb Reiser, Jeb's Custom Cabinets.
Jeb Reiser. Congratulations, Jeb, and thanks for tuning in, my friend. We'll get you a wall. I'm sure you can find always something you can use for cabinetry at the Walmart. So we'll get that out to you. And folks, we're going to say goodnight for tonight. Thanks for tuning in again. Y'all stay tuned for next week. And hey, guys, I'm going to let you on a 3, 2, 1. I'm going to let y'all say goodbye. 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Goodbye.